What's going on, everybody? I remember to unmute this time. Haha. Winning. Don't act like I don't know why you guys are here. I know why you're here. It's not because of the topic. It's because you guys want to see me burn, burn, burn. I do this to myself, but that's quite all right. Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Is that Nicole that I see in the chat? Where are you at? Did I see you there? There she is. Mrs. Schrodinger's cat. Hello, it's been a minute. Oh no, Vegas Baby Girl has been a member for 35 months. Says hello, Johnny O. Hello, Vegas Baby Girl. If I can get that out like an idiot. My goodness. All right, so I'm sure all of you, I hope all of you watched the latest video. Not very many people are, and I kind of figured it was going to go that way because it's different than my normal content, which is fine. I expected this one to be kind of like an announcement, so to speak, like, hey guys, it's going to be a little different around here. And I expected to lose a few subscribers. Totally understand. If it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea. Totally fine with that. Well, I got a fair bit of comments, but anyway, I hope you guys saw it. And you know that we're obviously by the title and the thumbnail. I hope you like the thumbnail. Let me know what you thought of that thumbnail. By the way, I had fun making it. Celery. Yeah, there are always soft sits. Soft sits in First Amendment auditing, and I just got bored with it. Same with like flat Earth and all that. The same shit happened, right? So flat Earth came around. I was like, man, I'm fucking done with this shit. Anyway, so I put this video out, and somebody left me a comment with, I guess they're. I'm going to receive the comment with nothing but respect. Like respectfully, they're trying to, hey, educate me on these things. Little did this person know, I've already soft looked at what they asked me to look at, but we're going to look at it. We're going to look at it all the way. Okay. We're just going to do it. You know why? Because I do believe that just because I say something or somebody else says something doesn't mean that it's gospel, right? So if I say something and you know something different, 100% let me know. Say something. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Say something. You know what I mean? And I'll look into it, because at the end of the day, I want to make sure that the information that I disseminate is as accurate as possible. Because contrary to popular belief, I do believe in fact checking. I actually don't think that's a popular belief that I don't believe in fact checking, but and also I have fries and wings. They're naked wings, not naked. YouTube, not naked, without sauce. Okay, there's sans sauce right here. Okay, with chicken nuggets. I don't know why they call them wings, but whatever. Who gives a shit? And then this is what you guys are looking for. I don't know if you can see that, but this is the Ghost Island sauce that everybody wanted. It has not been opened. It's still sealed. Still sealed. Golly. Elon has canceled all transatlantic flights. That's funny. Yeah. So here's the thing. You've got our current president who is going through all of these documents. I'm sorry, Elon Musk, not our current president. Elon Musk is going through all these documents and all these, Department of Government Efficiency, which is not an elected position, mind you. And I think it's hilarious that we had, and I know this has been brought up. I got to say, during the state of the presidential address, Trump makes a comment about no oligarchs and no, unelected people, blah, 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 blah. And they show Elon Musk. Just like, I thought it was hilarious. But Elon Musk discovered that, I say discovered, he really didn't, it's not Elon Musk doing it, right? He just hired a bunch of kids who don't understand what the fuck they're doing to go through all these data sets and information. And you guys know, they found some things that some grants that were going to research using transgenic mice. Now, I've, to, blue in the face, we've talked about what transgenic mice are. Many people have talked about what transgenic mice, what transgenic means, right? So we're talking about altering one organism with, quote, foreign DNA in order to create different, like, humanoid tissue inside of a mouse. They've been doing this, mind you, they've been doing this type of research for decades, right? This is nothing new. This is not new research, right? ATB Films, I will not confirm nor deny that. But yeah, so Trump sees transgenic, and the mice that are running the wheels in his brain automatically stop at transgender, and he is anti-trans, right? It's just can't do it. No, but trans is bad, which I don't fucking understand that at all. What somebody chooses to do with their body, it's not hurting anybody. It's not hurting you. Let them do what they want to do. Why do we need the president of the United States or any other government official telling me what I can and can't do with my body, so long as it's I'm not hurting anybody else, I'm not causing anybody else any kind of harm or pain or whatever. It's my body. I'm gonna do what I want with it. If I want to, I don't know, gauge my ears and have big holes in my ears, I should be 100% allowed to do that. If I want to split my tongue, have the little serpent tongue thing, totally should be allowed to do that. If somebody wants gender affirming care, that's between that person and their doctor, period. What the government has anything to do. And I gotta say, I find it extremely hypocritical, right? It's extremely hypocritical when the government says we don't want any government overreach. You have the right wingers that we don't want any government overreach, want small government. Government does not belong in our lives unless you're gay. Then government has absolutely every right to tell you what to do. But get fucked. You can't have it both ways. Let them do their thing. Let them be. Let them. Who does this harm? Absolutely nobody. And this whole nonsense about, well, they're, doing gender affirming, blah, blah, blah in schools, and this, that, and just get fucked, right? There's nobody having sex changes in school. This is not happening. It's not being funded, nor is it being facilitated by schools. It's just not happening. Okay. So stop the dumb shit. Anyway, I digress. So I was sent, let me go ahead and share this here. We're going to share this screen. We're just going to do this window, and that's fine. I know I'm sharing the screen without sharing my system sound. We don't need to hear it. We just need to see it. I know you can't see it just yet, but I promise it's coming. All right. Beaver says, at the pothole, wait, come back here. It's like, no, come back. Stop. I need to see it. There we go. Yeah, they claim there's kids getting sex changes and produce no evidence of said sex changes performed on kids. It's the same shit with the whole, they're putting out litter boxes and having kids who identify as cats use a litter box in class. Like, okay, show me the evidence. Well, it's being suppressed. Well, then how the fuck do you know about it? Well, I heard a guy who said a thing about a thing over here. Okay, can you give me the evidence? Provide evidence. Or I'm a firm believer in Hitchens razor. That which can be asserted without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. And we're going to do that. We will dismiss any assertion. If you don't bring some sort of backing, we're just going to dismiss it, period. Because if you don't have the ability or wherewithal or whatever to provide the evidence, because again, I want to see the evidence. If you have evidence of this going on, provide it. Let me see it. I want to see your evidence. Cesario says, "Amen, Johnny. I have a teen who is trans. Screw them, and who cares, right? That's between. I'm assuming. I don't know how old your teen is, but I'm assuming your teenager is between 13 and 17 years old. It could be older, I don't know, but that's between you and your child's physician. Period. Period. Omniorosporo says, I'm afraid of transgender mice and fentanyl drug moose. I love how it's another thing. These whole uh, these tariffs are wild, man. How you guys appreciate enjoying those tariffs, right? Are we doing them or we're not doing them? We might be doing them here, but we're not going to do them now. I'm going to do them there, but we're going to pause on this one here because we're going to do them again there. But we need to really do it now, but we're going to help out there. But we really, we're going to tariff, but we're not going to tariff. But we are going to tariff, but we're not going to tariff. Maybe a little bit of tariff, maybe not a little bit of tariff. I don't know what's going to happen. What the fuck? Oh, yes, Fred Knotts. We're about to get into it. Yes, this right here. So 10 NIH grants paying for transgender animal experiments. So I'm looking at this title, and there's already something that is incorrect about this title. Well, first off, the premise, right? Let's take a look at the premise. Let's take a look at the premise of what Trump said, right? So Trump said that they're spending $8 million on transgender mice. That's not a thing. That's not a thing, right? There's no transgender mice. There just isn't any. Okay. But the Doge and all these people who believe that this nonsense is real will provide this right here. So it's 10, right? Total cost taxpayer for grants below 10 million plus, right? So we have this grant, molecular mechanisms of hormone medicates sex differences in world healing, right? And when we look at this here, it says we develop new models and show that T limits wound healing in large animals with different effects in XX versus XY animals. Where's transgender in this? Now let's take a look at the link, right? The abstract. I'm not going to read all of this, but I'll leave a link for this in Discord so you guys can check this out. But and I think the link is the link is also on the comment section of the last video I watched. If you haven't watched the video, go check it out. Click on the comment section. You get this link. So the abstract, wounds have a sizable impact on public health. 1 out of 50 Americans have chronic wound at any given time, and the cost of wound care exceeds $100 billion per year. Similarly, hypertrophic scars with excessive scar tissue greatly impair quality of life for millions of patients. I'm waiting for the transgender part. However, therapeutic solutions for wound healing, which we'll call WH, remain quite limited. Sex has received growing interest as a factor in wound healing, and some studies show higher rates of non-healing wounds in men. Still waiting for the trans part. It has long been known that in male rodents testosterone T impairs wound healing via androgen receptor effects. Sex hormone induced changes in wound repair have been studied as a possible risk factor, but their impact is uncertain due to factors like illness that alter hormone levels. So we're not just talking about, for those who are going to try and make this connection, we're not talking about just gender affirming care here. We're talking about illness, right, that can affect your hormone imbalance, etc. We're also talking about people like me who are older who might need to start testosterone therapy, testosterone replacement therapy. That is a hormone therapy, right? And it's not gender affirming care, so to speak, not the way they think it is. I mean, it is gender affirming care, like providing myself, me, if I were to take testosterone, even though I'm a man, I've always been a man, that's still what they call gender affirming care. Because why introduce why testosterone therapy as we get older? Because our bodies stop producing testosterone at the levels that it did when we were younger. Therefore, the physical features that we have change and get altered. Things like metabolism don't work as well, all this stuff. So I'm still waiting. I mean, I've read this entire abstract text before I got on here. I didn't do all of them, but I did this one here. Nothing in this here says anything about transgender mice. Nothing in here says that we're going to give, let's see how much money. This one here is, the award notice date was on 16th September 2024. Let's see. Brigham and Women's Hospital, that's the organization doing the study in Massachusetts, in Boston specifically. Total funding, right? Total funding is $442,000, roughly, right? Okay. But nothing in here is specific to transgendered mice. So already we're starting off just perfect, right? The perfect start. So Fred Knotts brings up a really good point. This is also true. It's not just this is like any kind of grant, any kind of grant that you're looking for, right? So government grants use keyword searches for approvals. You include those keywords to get the approval phase, right? So generally what you want to do if you want to get because you have to understand, not all grants, mind you. There are some grants that go completely just like nobody's asking for the money, even though the money is there. What's going on, PhD Tony? Pants. That's funny. I like that. But when you are applying for grants, especially when you're looking for government grants in research and medical research, there are tons of people out there who are vying for those research funds, right? You want to make sure that your grant, your application stands out amongst others. But even here, even this one here, right? We're talking about let's see here. We're talking about wound healing and how testosterone changes affect wound healing. At no point are we talking about turning a boy mouse into a girl mouse or a girl mouse into a boy mouse. At no point in this abstract. Project Narrative: wound healing is a major public health problem affecting millions of patients, and preliminary clinical and large animal data suggests that testosterone may impair wound repair while estrogen improves it, yet the mechanisms of these effects are poorly understood. So, where are we talking about transgender mice in this? Can somebody please, maybe I'm missing it. I don't see anything here about transgender mice. So, strike one. All right, let's go. Let's see here. A mouse model to test. This is a grant name. A mouse model to test the effects of gender affirming hormone therapy on HIV vaccine induced immune responses. Okay, this is one where they may have a bit of a point, right? Because they're talking about seeing well, let's just look. Abstract text project: biological sex impacts the immune system as evidenced by differences between men and women in vaccine induced hormonal responses. There is a considerable gap in knowledge, however, surrounding the immunological responses of transgender people, a population at considerably higher risk for HIV and other STIs. At least we have transgender in the opening sentence, or the opening not the opening sentence, but the very beginning of this abstract, right? At least we're talking about transgender people, not transgender mice. Okay. To address this gap, we propose to develop an animal model of feminizing hormone therapy to study the effects of estrogen, anti-testosterone therapy on HIV vaccine-induced immune responses. So here, maybe now we are actually talking about turning a boy mouse into a girl mouse. Maybe. That's if you don't understand transgenic, right? So transgenic is not turning one thing from another. It's not they take this mouse that's already a mouse. It's already, transgenic is not, hey, I got a mouse in my hand. I'm going to perform a surgery to make this boy mouse into a girl mouse. What would ever give you that idea, JL? Now, admittedly, this abstract on a mouse model to test the effects of gender affirming hormone therapy on HIV vaccine induced immune responses. This one, yes, we are actually talking about trans issues, but we're not talking about spending. And I think this one here, how much was this guy here? This is at Duke University, mind you. This one, total funding is just shy of $200,000. Just shy of $200,000. But we're talking about the effectiveness of STI vaccines, including HIV. in trans people, in people generally speaking. But yes, this one does mention trans. But again, this is not $200,000 to turn a boy mouse into a girl mouse and vice versa. That's not what we're doing here. We're testing vaccine effectiveness. I know vaccine, scary word. Let's see here. It was here. Grant name reproductive consequences of steroid hormone administration. The University of Michigan cost today is $2.5 million. The impact of long-term cross-sex hormone therapy on reproductive health is largely unknown, particularly in transgender men, female to male. Right. So let's take a look and see this one here. Mm-hmm. I would like to go to Ann Arbor one of these days. Side note, it'd be nice. Recent data estimates 1.4 million transgender adults and 150,000 transgender adolescents live in the United States. Those are important numbers, mind you, right? So when we're talking about 1.4 million transgender adults and 150,000 transgender adolescents, these are important numbers to think about, right? Keep those in mind when you think about the whole trans debate, especially the trans debate as it relates to people participating in trans athletes participating in sports. It's really, really, really important to keep those numbers in mind. 1.4 million versus how many people live in the United States? Anyway, national and international medicine organizations recommend fertility preservation counseling prior to initiation of cross-sex hormone therapy based on an assumption of fertility loss. So here we are. What we're doing is we're studying what? We're studying the effects that transgender or gender affirming care has on fertility. Now, if I were on the right and transphobic, this is something that I would want to know. I would want to know this. I would want to know these facts, what this research produces, right? It seems like interesting information, seeing as how but the vast majority of the vocal rights, one of their big talking points is babies. However, the impact of long-term we read that. The available human studies suggest ovarian changes from cross-sex T therapy, but are unobserved. But are I can't read. Observational studies with conflicting results. Moreover, there's a lack of data on the vicinity of T treated transgender men, and there have been no studies that address the reversibility of T induced changes after cessation of T for reproductive purposes. So again, here we are trying to understand what? The effects of therapy. Okay. Again, this isn't a study. Nothing about this is a study that is specifically taking boy mice and turning into girl mice. It's not about transgender mice. It's about transgenic. These are important things to remember. All right. Like I said, I haven't read all this, but here, I haven't read all of these here because I want to do more of them live. Like I said, we want to be part of use text to speech. I could do that, but I'm not gonna because I need to practice reading. The effects of hormones in every person. Yeah, it's not just about trans people, mind you, right? They are studying. That was the catalyst for the question, but they're studying more than just trans. I can't believe we haven't had this conversation. To be honest, it just boggles my mind. Cross-sex steroid therapy and cardiovascular risk in transgender female. Okay. Transgender individuals comprise roughly 1% of the United States population and include those born one sex but identify as a gender that does not align with their biological sex. Gender-affirming hormone therapy is used to treat these individuals to match secondary sex characteristics in their gender identity. In transgender females, individuals born male but who identify as female involves administration of 17B estrogen with an anti-androgen or castration. So medical castration, essentially. Although long-term studies in its population are limited, recent studies suggest that cardiovascular risk may be elevated. So it is important to understand the risks. That way, these people who are seeking gender affirming care have all the information. Again, this isn't a study that is specific to turning mice transgender. This is so stupid. This one here, what do it cost? Oh yeah, this one is super expensive, mind you. I'm so glad we were able to save $2,124. $2,124 to study the effects of therapies on the heart. Cardiovascular effect. Oh my God. Holy shit. That's even more mind boggling than the fact that we're having to have this conversation. Oh man. The Alexander Laboratory has developed a novel model of feminizing hormone therapy in the male rat that involves administration of E2 to mimic physiological levels observed in age-matched female rats in conjunction with androgen suppression. Right. So what they're doing is they're hormone therapy. Right. So this is what we would have in gender affirming care. And see, here's another thing. Right. This is crossed. Right. Current cost to date $65,000. That's not what the article said. Let's go back to the article. This guy here, or the article. Let's go back to this for 2025 total funding. Maybe there's more. Let's see. Is there any more for 2024? Okay, so that makes more sense. 2024, even still, $32,000 or $33,000. $33,000. University of Mississippi. $33,000. You know, how much it costs to send Trump to play golf at his own fucking golf resort? Yes, walk on wheels. I will make sure and put the link to all of this in Discord. Let's see, gender affirming testosterone therapy on breast cancer risk and treatment outcomes. Right. So here we are. We're talking about, what are we talking about? The proposal will undertake preclinical studies to address breast cancer risk and treatment concerns of transmasculine people, female to male transition. This proposal will also elucidate the interplay of miRNAs and testosterone in mammary gland development, carcinogens, and response to BC treatment. Most transmasculine individuals pursue testosterone therapy to treat their gender dysphoria. The breast is a sex hormone sensitive organ. Transmasculine individuals who receive TT are now subject of concern. We're studying breast cancer. You do realize that men have, I think it's like 4% of men have developed breast cancer, right? Just in general, I think it's 4%. What is it here? Let's look it up. Let's see. Estimated 2,800 new cases of male breast cancer are diagnosed in the United States each year. So, I'm sorry, I overestimated. I said 4%. It's 1%. So, it's actually lower, Miss Tom. So, 1% of men in general, not trans men, not men transitioning from male to female, just men in general, 1% of them have a risk to develop breast cancer. Furthermore, other women who are not trans, right? Who are just women doing their thing as a woman. Isn't it interesting to study? I mean, it'd be kind of beneficial to study about breast. Number one cancer in women is breast cancer, right? Why can't we study that? What's wrong with studying breast cancer and how testosterone therapy, and women do receive testosterone therapy for a plethora of reasons, not just gender affirming care. So, but again, where are we specifically using these funds to turn mice transgender? Total funding is $300,000. I still have yet to see one of these things that says, yes, this money is to make mice transgender. Let's see here. Microbiome mediated effects of gender affirming hormone therapy in mice. Okay. This one's 700,000, almost 740,000. Let's take a look. That's kind of unfortunate that it's probably true. All right, project summary. Gender affirming hormone therapy is used by transgender people to alleviate gender dysphoria. We know this already. Male to female subjects consist of blah, blah, to block testosterone production and cross-sex hormone treatment with estrogen. Sorry. Let me do something really quick. I'm still looking for where this says we're turning. It's the thing. It's the thing, right? Let's look at the narrative. The project will determine the contribution of the gut microbiome to the effects of gender affirming hormone therapy in mice. Our study will provide information whether GHT exerts effects on skeletal maturation, and the mechanisms whereby gut microbiome mediates the skeletal effects. Project is important because the skeletal effects of GHT in humans is critical medical concern in transgender medicine. Okay, we're at least getting to the part where they're specifically talking about transgender medicine, but how much was this in here, by the way? 377,000. Okay. I want you guys to keep in mind all these numbers, right? Still, we're not spending what does he say was it $8 million to turn mice or transgender mice? Is that what we're doing? We're not spending $8 million on transgender mice. We're spending $8 million on research for a plethora of medical studies, hormone therapy studies, cancer research, etc. This is just so stupid. I don't see what these people are seeing. I think what people are saying, they're seeing the words like buzzwords and they're jumping on the like, oh my God, it's trans, everything's trans. Androgen effects on the reproductive neuroendocrine axis. Let's see here. It includes clinical studies of transgender individuals and the effects of androgen treatment on their reproductive health. Again, still, we're talking about reproductive health research. Yes, we're looking at that in trans, but this is important stuff. Again, if you are anti-trans, you want to know these things. And why? Why do you want to know these things if you're anti-trans? Because you don't want to seem like you're dishonest, correct? What if, here's the thing. Folks who don't like information because if it's the possibility that challenging what they think their position is or what they say their position is, then they have to go back and think about it, right? Again, I welcome it. Yes, I'm looking at all this stuff here, and I don't see anything that says all this money is going to make mice trans. This proposal responds to notice of special interest in research of health, sexual, and gender minority populations, which calls for research describing clinical, behavioral, and social processes affecting the health of SGM individuals and their families. That will promote development of appropriate interventions to improve SGM health and fertility care. Again, we're talking about fertility here. We're talking about fertility. I don't see anything here that says trans mice. Narrative high levels of circulating androgens can negatively affect the neuroendocrine reproductive hormone levels in females, yet the mechanisms and target cells by which androgens achieve these effects remain unknown. Maybe, just maybe, we might want to ask medicine what all this means. That would be interesting to actually get to the information directly from people who know more about this shit than I do. Again, I'm no expert on this. I'm no expert on medicine. Reading this stuff though, nothing here that I have seen yet, and I think we're just going to go on and on. It's going to be the same shit. Role of sex hormone dependent transporter regulation, potential altered overdose risk in transgender men and women. So what are we talking about here? GHB. We're talking about the effects of GHB, date rape drug. Don't you think this is important? Party of law and order. You guys have a problem with the date rape drug, right? You think? Oh yeah, Mr. Handwright. This was my favorite one, right? The whole condoms. We're spending this money on condoms in Gaza. It turns out it wasn't the Gaza you thought it was. Number one. Well, that's actually number two. Number one, it was part of not many people remember the 80s very well from a plethora of reasons. But the 80s saw one of the largest outbreaks of HIV infection because we just didn't know what it was, right? It was something that was relatively new. And we just didn't know very much about it. And HIV particularly spread fairly quickly through the LGBTQ communities for whatever reasons. It doesn't even really matter what those reasons are. Okay. It just did. And studying all these things, studying, what causes it, how can we prevent it, blah, blah, blah. That's kind of important. And coming through that, they decided, not just the United States, but the world decided that having a global response to an HIV pandemic or epidemic was important. Therefore, not sure if I was the only one who shared this, but my intention was to show that money is being spent related to mice and transgender, and I agree. This is needed research. I have trans friends. Yeah. So, right. So the issue is not that it's, the issue is that the way that this is framed by Cheeto in chief, and no, I have very little respect for the man, but the way this is framed is what I find not even questionable. It's just downright horseshit. It just goes to show, and it's just like further proof that all he cares about are buzzwords, and then the people who look at what he says and follow what he says, all they care about are buzzwords. They don't actually care about looking to see. It's one thing. It would be one thing if you came to me and said, I don't like studying, I don't like spending money, government money, researching GHB role of sex hormone dependent people in the trans community. I don't want to spend money on date rape drug. Understanding that'd be one thing. But to sit there and say we're spending $8 million or whatever the fuck you said it was on transgender mice, like, no, that's not what's happening. Transgenic mice, transgenic research again is about studying treatments like wound care, GHB, testosterone therapies, all kinds of shit. It's about studying cancers. This is nothing new. This is nothing new. We've been doing animal testings for as long as I can remember, and probably since before then. Sorry, getting messages. Person I know is doing hormone therapy for prostate cancer. That's another thing, right? So there are multiple reasons why people would get hormone therapy. Multiple reasons why. And this is one of them. I wish people would understand, like, whenever we develop medicines, 9 times out of 10, probably 10 times out of 10, the medicine they start to develop or the problem they start to address with the medicine, generally speaking, isn't the one that's solved with this medicine. And if it is, they also find that this medicine works on a plethora of other things, right? Well, we notice that if we do this here, boom, 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 all these other things. I just don't like. So even if everything here is specific to the trans community, there are a multitude of things that we can learn from these studies. But again, at the end of the day, we're still not talking about transgender mice. We're talking about transgenic mice. That's the thing. Nothing in these things talks about, well, it's a mouse having a sex change. That's none of this stuff is here. None of that. Gonadal hormones as mediators of sex and gender influences in asthma. Indiana University, 3.1 million. No studies has explored the effects of feminizing hormone therapy with estrogen in the lungs of trans women. Again, these are things we should know about, especially if we're talking about the trans community and how gender affirming care can affect their health. These are important things to know. But again, they're using mouse models, but those are trans. It kills me. It kills me. Transgenic, right? I mean, I'm not going to go through all this right now. Maybe I will. I don't know. understanding how chromosomal makeup and cross-sex hormone administration affect wound healing in mice. Yeah, we talked about this one here. I mean, it's similar. This looks similar. Again, we're talking about less than $50,000 at John Hopkins. Transgender individuals experience persistent physiological distress caused by and encouraging between one's assigned sex at birth and one's internal sense of self. For transgender males, medical treatment can involve administration of lifelong exogenous testosterone, T, and or gender affirming surgery. So they want to find out, aims to give us new understanding of the biological mechanisms responsible for the observed impaired wound healing in transgender men. So they found that transgender men specifically have an issue in wound healing. So they want to figure out how to solve that. Again, we're still not talking about money that is being spent to figure out how to turn a mouse from one sex to another. Yeah, Iron Raven, that's the thing, right? So when we're talking about that whole thing with the condoms in Gaza, when that was brought up to Mr. Elon, what did he say? Oh, well, sometimes I'm going to get things wrong. I'm not going to be 100%, not going to be blah, blah, blah. But nobody cared. Nobody heard that. They still talk about, well, they're sending condoms to Gaza. They still use that, right? They still use that. And here's another one. Matt G brings me a good one here, talking about IVF or in vitro, right? A lot of these studies, that's one of the things we're talking about when it comes to hormone therapy. Like, we need to know these things, right? Reproductive health is huge, huge field. We need to know what these hormones can and can't do, couldn't do, etc. It's just so stupid that we're having this conversation. Let's see here. Perspective on equitable translational studies and clinical support for an unbiased inclusion of the LGBTQIAS 2S plus community. Research regarding the mental health of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, asexual, two-spirit community has been historically biased by individual and structural homophobia, biphobia, and transphobia, resulting in research that does not represent the best quality science. Okay. Road research aimed at better treating, preventing stress effects on long-lasting behavioral outcomes. Again, we're talking about mental health research here. We're not talking about we're going to make, like, the goal of this is not transgender mice. That's what people don't understand. Paper was funded by these. Oh, this is a DEI grant. What does that mean? What does DEI grant mean? What does that mean? What is it? I mean, I'm trying to. Oh, well, it's not going to tell me anything. And see, that's another thing. When I look at stuff like this and I see when, like, these markings, this is a DEI grant. This is a DEI grant. I need you to explain that. You need to explain, right? Now, because now DEI has turned into just something that is against another buzzword. Let's see here. Centering the needs of transgender, non-binary, and gender diverse populations. Again, we're talking about gender affirming hormone therapy. We're not talking about turning mice from one sex to the next. They didn't care about HIV until some straight people got and Loser Truth, that's 100% correct, right? And when they thought it was, quote, gay cancer, they had no problem just letting it do its thing. It wasn't until they figured out that everybody could get it. They did actively refuse to talk about it. It cost a lot of people lives. I remember when Magic Johnson came out with his diagnosis, and that's when people, like, really started to take that shit serious. So, Walk on Wheel says, no, I know what DEI means, right? Diversity, equity, inclusion is, yeah, no, that's what DEI means. But what I mean to say is when they say this is a DEI grant, tell me what that has to do in relation to what we're trying to, the information we're trying to put across here. Tell me why this is a thing. I want to know. challenges and inclusive practices, scientists, American, what are we talking about? Research-oriented seminars and workshops aiming to enhance scientists' understanding of how to design appropriate preclinical studies with animal models and inclusive practices for human and clinical studies regarding sexual orientation and gender identity. Yeah, we don't want to know. Again, we're not. This is not money that's going to give my sex changes. This is not what's happening. And that's it. That's the end of that. That's what I look. That's one of the reasons why I call this dishonest stuff. And we're talking about just buzzwords. Trans mice. No, transgenic does not mean transgender. It just doesn't mean that. Okay, so we had who's got? I mean, let me know what your questions are. Obviously, I want you to. This is a conversation I wish to have with folks. I want people to think that they can bring their questions and whatnot to the table. Oh yeah, walking wheels, yeah, for sure. Again, we have a certain group of people that like to use these things as buzzwords in order to, elicit a certain response. Like when we have Trump who gets up there and says, transgender mice. He knows what he's doing. He's calling to a certain demographic of his base, and that's what he wants. He wants people to think, well, we're doing the right thing because I remember that you guys don't like trans folk, so we're doing things to limit trans folks this, but that's not what we're doing. What we're doing is we're just limiting, medical research. All right, so I have pinned the link to that Washington Examiner article. I probably don't need to say, but the Washington Examiner is a right-leaning organization, so there is a little bit of a spin. And look, I'm not one of these people that didn't understand that there's spin in everything, right? Every news organization, news outlet has a little bit of slant, a little bit of lean, a little bit of spin. Sure. But that's not what it is. Okay, so again, let me know what your comments are. And my goodness, I'm gonna keep doing this. We're gonna do Mo sauce if you want. Totally up to you. But as it is, I owe people some sauce. We're going to do this here. Like I said, I've never opened this. This is Ghost Island. It's a Caribbean flavor to die for. It's a hot sauce by Karma Sauce. So if you're looking for what sauce we're doing here, it's Karma Sauce, Ghost Island. I have a few of their sauces, and they've all been pretty good. I didn't like the buffalo one. That one I thought was too vinegary. It wasn't my, Uh-oh. This is a good question, actually. Let's see here. I got to do something about my eyeballs. If an illness affects certain races more, do you think they will start calling those grants DEI grants? Probably. I just don't understand why. I do understand why they think DEI, diversity, inclusive, equity, and inclusivity is a bad thing. They think that, and this is the same argument that affirmative action used to get. Well, it forces people to hire less qualified folks. That's not what happens. It's not what happens at all. That's not what DEI is about. Mrs. Thomas says a ghost pepper. Let's see here. Ingredients: habanero. Let's see. Yes, ghost peppers in here, and a fatali. Orange juice, apple cider vinegar, mango, pineapple, organic sugar, mustard seed, lime juice, water, agave nectar, salt, onion, curry spices, and garlic. And to think people used to come to the U.S. because it was the forefront of medical and scientific research. Yeah. What? I like 2001 Space Odyssey because I appreciate the conversation that's happening in the film. Okay, Tony? I'm sorry that you got upset that they misrepresented your ancestors with using the bone at the beginning of it. But Prosecco Rose, it does sound good. But like I said, I have had pretty solid luck with their, and again, this is Karma Sauce, with their brand of sauce. I agree that it's not what DEI is about, nor should it be, but sadly, it's been used the wrong way by some. You know what? To say that, okay, cool. Firearms have been used wrongly by a lot. And don't give me that nonsense about, well, a DEI is not protected by the Constitution. It 100% is. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The ideals of the Constitution. The fact that our forefathers were smart enough to know that they were going to miss some things and leave ways to correct that. But no, the argument that, well, because some people misuse it. All right, some people misuse guns. Let's take guns away from folks. Oh shit. Oh shit. There are some Republicans right now that just lost their ever loving fucking minds. Wow. This one's going to be a little spicy. I do have some water here down here somewhere, but you know. Okay, so what do you guys want? You want it on a French fry or a chicken wing? Don't take my finger. I won't. I won't. Mrs. Tom, you're allergic to mango? Well, then you don't get any. You keep hot sauce in your handbag? That is awesome. So, Mrs. Tom, anytime we're out, I say that because we go out all the time, Mrs. Tom and I. All the time we're out together doing things. All right, here we go. Okay. Wing. All right, wing it is. Liberty for me, the rest get what I give him. Okay, here we go. I am Raven for $4.99 says, if I can read it, super chat in honor of Jackie, Shadow, and their 3 chicks. Damn. Are you saying that I'm about to eat? I'm not saying we should remove DEI 100%. Should not. Everything is good, misused to do bad things. Sure, yeah. I mean, I forget who said it, and no, I'm not stalling. I forget who said this, but somebody said that the difference between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party is, and it may have been Jon Stewart, but the difference is the Republican Party is willing to forsake the many because of the misdeeds of the few, whereas the Democratic Party are willing to forgive the misdeeds of the few to not forsake the many. I got into sushi a month ago at 45. Now I'm addicted to wasabi, about as hot as I want my food, though. See, wasabi hits different. Wasabi, because if it's like real wasabi, most wasabi that we get in the States is horseradish, which is not real wasabi. Boy, do I sound like a fucking snob. Well, actually. All right, here he goes. You guys see? Got the sauce. Wait, can't see it. There. There's the sauce. Can we see the sauce on there? Is that enough? You want more? I don't care. Just tell me before you eat it. I'll wait. I'm waiting. Sushi is the vessel to get wasabi to my mouth. Yeah, I like, like I said, I like wasabi on my sushi, but it hits different. It hits right in the back of the nose. Such a different hit. Whereas most sauces are not so much. The word woke was used in the Black community to describe a person's awareness of his social and historical position in the United States. Yep. More. Damn it. Okay, there's more. Here we go. More. Here we go. Totally ASMRing right now. I gotta say, whereas it's really delicious. That was not as spicy as I was expecting it to be. It's really good though. If you guys, I mean, those of you who are allergic to mango, you can't have it, but there's like this smokiness with a little hint of sweet. It's actually really good. Caramel sauce did not disappoint again. It's really good. All right. Excuse me. PC Tony says, pothole, that used to be the case. The Democrats are corporate shills, afraid of losing their funding, business supported, but unwilling to openly prosecute themselves like the GOP. 100%, right? And I'm not specifically talking about the Democrats in charge, right? I'm talking about the ideas, the ideals that Democrats say they believe in. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. The Democratic Party is just as corporate shill as the Republican Party, 100%. And that shit needs to change. It just needs to. All right, we have what is this? What is this? Hula. Was that Robot Overlord for Two Canadians says, as a Canadian trans person, I feel bad for y'all. I feel, well, yeah, I mean, not me, because I'm not trans, but you know, my trans countrymen, yeah, 100%. Let's see here. We had another one. One sec. Thank you for that super chat, by the way. And then Dave Stiernick for 5 Canadians says $5 for Pepto Bismol. I wonder how much Pepto Bismol is nowadays. Thank you so much for that $5 super chat. I do appreciate it. By the way, if you want, you can buy me a coffee. Link is in the description. You don't have to. Please don't feel like you have to. I always appreciate super chats and the donos and all that. But I don't think, again, you don't have to. I'm going back for seconds because that was good. Better hope it isn't made of U.S. eggs. Oh, no. All right. We're going to give a healthy. Here we go. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a healthy bit. Totally ASMRing you guys, and I'm sorry that. I don't know. I can't do it. If I need to mute, I will. I agree. Like I said, it's good. It tastes really good. Having fried chicken? Fried chicken is delicious if it's made right. Best fried chicken I ever had was at this little hole-in-the-wall soul food restaurant. I can't even remember the name of it. It was fucking good. I'm trying to give you guys your money's worth, so I'm going to have more. But I thought this was going to be a lot spicier. I really did. Are you munching the bone? They're chicken nuggets. They're boneless. So Clive Wells says, I only have 36 eggs left in the kitchen. If I was in the U.S., I'd be a millionaire. Yeah. Yes, you would. You would be a rich man. The key is brine. Prosecco says, so you reversed the reverse psychology on me. No, I didn't do that. Didn't do that at all. I honestly thought it was going to be much spicier, that one specifically. What did I say? I can't remember. I didn't remember what I said to you. No, I told you there was a different one that was the spiciest. No, it was not the spiciest. I told you that it was Reaper Squeezins that wasn't the spiciest. That one lights me up. I'm not going to lie. That one lights me up a bit. Mr. Andrew, I paid $4.29 for my last dozen. Golly. And here's a bitch of it. They're not going to come back down. Or they will, but they're not going to come back down to where they were before. It just won't happen. Brine and buttermilk. Leyland Squirrel says, I've only ever got one super tank. Oh, come back here. And only 2 members after building up 1,400 people. I'm currently under attack and stricken to the point of silence for the next week or something. What? Is it like sovereign citizen stuff again? Oh man, it's Prosecco, because you're in California and right now it's insane for a number of reasons. A number of reasons why that prices are just out of whack. Leyland Squirrels is a fucking auditor. Yeah, because those assholes are all about. It's one thing. It's why I hate about the auditor community. There's so much about freedom of press, but God forbid you use your freedom of press and tell them they're stupid. They lose their shit. I buy chicken feed, eggs are free. See, Kelly, I don't have the ability. I live in an apartment, an upstairs apartment, so I can't keep I can't keep chickens. They just won't let me. They just won't let me do it. See, I do egg whites, so I'll buy the cartons of egg whites, and I can't get them right now. At least I haven't been able to get them in the past week or two. Yeah, which sucks is I need the protein. Nemo813 says, I have a friend whose mother is Vietnamese. She makes a hot sauce that makes my eyes water from 10 feet away. Those, excuse me, Thai chilies and the Vietnamese, I forget what they use. I forget what they're called specifically. But holy fuck. Those things can be insane. Insane. Who wants to see PhD Tony come up again? I know I do. If I can find Tony. Where are you at there, buddy? Tony, there you are. You may not be able to come up, and that's fine. I know everybody likes JL. I'm kind of curious to hear because he's an actual member of the LGBTQ plus community and not as an ally. I hit the wrong button. Oh well. Where are you at? There you are. Boom. There you go. I will bring on the PhD Tony. House hen, great pet. I thought about some sort of animal, but I can't do it. Can't do it. I'm when I'm working, and hopefully the work picks up relatively quickly. But when I'm working, I'm not going to be at home very often. Iron Raven says, I actually read an article that said with the cost of raising chickens, the free eggs are more expensive even now. Probably. It's chicken feed. I'm all the things that go to PhD Tony, I don't want to hear about you being in your office. And no, that doesn't make it sound like everyone likes JL and not everyone likes you. Everybody loves PhD Tony. Everybody. Get a bearded dragon that just sunbathe all day, looking disgusted at you at stone. Yep. Ontario did drop a 25% surcharge in electricity. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it's not because the tariffs are just fucking stupid. And I don't think Trump understands. I don't think Trump or his base understand. They just understand how tariffs work. They don't, right? When Trump says no, the country pays him. No, they don't. The importing country pays them, and those get pushed back onto the consumer. That's not hard. I feel bad for all of you because you paid for a show. You paid for a show and you're not getting it. But it generally is just delicious sauce. Canada could turn the power off for 4 states. Yeah, it could. They won't. Not because, not because they're not capable. And I think it's because they actually, Canada has come out and said we don't have a problem with Americans. We have a problem with one American right now. Grab another sauce? I don't know. Do I need to grab another sauce? Damn. Doug Ford is dead serious about it. I gotta say, I found the Manitoba Premier's response perfect. Well, that was perfect. You know what? And that's one tariff that actually works is removing product, removing American products from Canadian shelves. I got pizza salt. Damn, don't like that. According to the pumpkin spice Palpatine, all the tariff cash is going into sovereign wealth fund. I haven't looked into that. I need to look into that claim. It's probably bullshit, if we're being honest. Probably bullshit. Yeah, wrong pipe, 100%. It's just it's from these fries that I just ate another one of. All that, see all that shit on there? These just supposed to be spicy, but they're not. Canada buys way too much liquor. It will hurt its hurt. It's the reason Jack Daniels is crying. Yeah, yeah. That's what I mean. That's more of an effective tariff because that actually affects the country or the businesses that you want to affect. Because when you just put a tariff, and here's the thing: tariffs do affect businesses, and that's the reason why they work in a trade war. That's the reason why they work in a trade war. Because eventually, what happens is the consumer can't afford or doesn't want to necessarily pay for that. Stop. They don't want to pay for that money. I mean, that money. Dumbass. Let's see. Hang on. There we go. I'm just being a pain whore right now. I'm sorry, guys. Um, that one was wimpy. It was wimpy. Being a pain whore right now, though. But when consumers figured out that, hey, I could buy something different and not have to pay that tax, even still, everything else kind of goes up with it. So the pain is felt regardless. You'll have companies that'll use the threat of this tax, of these tariffs and extra money that, oh, because it's going to happen in the future, we're going to go ahead and preemptively raise our prices so we can hedge our bets and pad our whatchamacallit, our profit margins. And they'll do that because the problem with inflation isn't solely tariffs, or I take that back. The problem with inflation is fucking corporate greed. So they are. Pulling all the bourbon off the shelves was a baller move by Canada. I absolutely agree. And Leyland Squirrels, that is 100% correct. Prices will never go back down for U.S. consumers. And here's the thing: it's not that they'll go down, but they won't go back down to where they were before. Take a look at gas prices. When I started driving, gas was under $1 a gallon. Hell, there were some places that was still like between 60 and 80 cents a gallon when I started driving, and it very quickly jumped up to, I think it was $3 a gallon. Of course, there are a lot of reasons why that happened, but terrorism and oil supplies, or oil shortage when there wasn't oil shortages. But yeah, And it came down. It got up to the high as like $6 a gallon in certain places. Came back down, but it's still not below $1 anywhere. And Pip Fans is correct. We still haven't returned from pre-COVID prices. Maybe when you started driving, you guys pay per liter too. You guys don't pay per gallon, so it's a little different. But yeah, it's expensive. Never been less than $1.25. But yeah, I mean, we will not see prices get back down. Like I was looking at housing prices because one of the claims that JD Vance has made today was that illegal immigrants are driving up the prices of houses, which is 100% incorrect. That's just factually not true. Now, I won't say that undocumented immigration doesn't affect housing. It does. It affects the availability of housing, which can drive the prices up. But we've had, what's the one thing that's changed from, let's say, 2008? Not just one thing, but there have been a handful of things. From 2008 till now, what are those things that have changed? $1.75 a liter. Golly. Uh-oh. Tony, are you naked now? What's going on? Oh, because you had a bad experience with tequila. Yeah. Yep. I have 4 more wings, and we'll see what happens. Lack of cheap labor drives house prices upward, so the business. Yeah, right. Well, that's part of it. But a few things happened. I just dipped that in sauce. Pretty good. We have the housing crisis. Sorry, the crash of 2008. I gotta stop eating those fries. 2008, right? Big crash. What happened? People couldn't afford. A lot of foreclosures happened on houses. And we flooded the market with foreclosed housing. But the problem with those housing is that the people, like the way you guys know, the way the loans were structured were so fucking terrible. Adjustable mortgage rates were the worst thing for people buying houses were adjustable mortgage rates. And the bitch of it was you have these banks that were loaning out to people like me who had decent income, but sure shit couldn't afford a $350,000 home on just that one income. But they're like, no, you can do it. And what we'll do here is what's called an adjustable mortgage rate. So we're going to backload they had to tell them they were backloading their loan. It's like, well, we can get your payment down to an affordable amount. Not telling them that, well, the adjustable part means that at any time that we see fit, we can go and adjust your rate and then jack up your monthly payment. And not only that, when we jack up your monthly payment, now you have to put more money in escrow to cover whatever the PMI or whatever the shit, right? Just pour the whole bottle in your face. I wish I could, but that's a lot. Is that what you guys want? You know what you're here for? You're here to see me drink sauce from the bottle? I'll do it. I'll do it. Matt, who says I'm not naked. I thought this was a clothing optional live. It is. Serious. Clothing optional. 100%. Mrs. Tom says, I double dog dare you. It's tough to, how can we say no to a double dog dare? All right, here we go. It doesn't come out very well. Hang on, there's like a plug here. Yeah, make it worth your while. Then they package those poor loans and wait, hang on, and solid fund. Yeah, there was a whole like the crash of 2008 was shitty for a um so many things that went wrong in 2008. But what that did is it put a whole lot of houses in foreclosure, and because the market housing was down, but people still couldn't qualify for loans. The only people that could afford to buy these houses were real estate investors. And what do? They bought that shit up in droves and turned them into Airbnbs. All right, here we go. I think I've removed the plug. We'll see. Yeah, and then you have a lot of people doing this shit too, right? Which again, real estate investment is solid. That's very. There are very few worse investments. No, I wait. You don't want me to drink it, or you do want me to drink it? Let me know. I'm surprised there hasn't been a second 2008 because of cryptocurrency. As am I. It's a weird market. Like the only real market to get into is the Bitcoin. Banks use homelessness to turn their customers into indentured servants. Yep. Yep. Oh yes. And then we had this insane raising of taxes, of land taxes, property tax. Checking is optional. Don't you hurt yourself on a dare. It's not a dare. NFTs are terrible too, guys. Look, and I am not a financial guru by any stretch of the word. If I were, I wouldn't be live streaming from the. I wouldn't just be like, look, I'm a floating head, okay, in the void of YouTube. You know, there'd be things going on in the background. It'd be all like snazzy, and be looking like Destiny's fucking streams, and you know, pretty things, and I would be able to afford to have somebody like do the research and all that shit for me, so I got to do it by myself. You know what I mean? Don't do it to my stomach. So should I sell my Trump coin? You probably can't. You probably can't sell your Trump coin crypto. Probably can't. This is a good one here. I like that. Unfucking believe says I have a rather good stockbroker, and when I asked about NFTs, he laughed and said, "You want to invest in pixels?" Right. Like I'm gonna invest in a trading card game that doesn't actually have trading cards. So Warlock Holmes 420. Here's the thing. Whereas I don't disagree with you, right? View on this economics, everybody had $1 million and money wouldn't be worth much. Somebody needs to be poor for others to be rich. I kind of disagree with we need poor people. You know what I mean? I don't think, and by poor I mean those who can't afford basic necessities, um, who can't afford, you know, um, not even just the basic necessities, like the ability to be able to take their family on a vacation. I remember growing up as a kid, every year we would go to either my grandparents in Pennsylvania or my grandparents in California. We would just do that. We could afford to drive there and back, from Texas. We could afford to do that. Uh, my parents didn't make a whole shit ton of money, but they made enough. They made decent money that we weren't, in a poorhouse. That changed when they got divorced, but like I said, I disagree with in the current system. I mean, a little light socialism goes a long way. Yeah, absolutely. And see, here's the thing: I don't necessarily agree that we need poor people so much to have rich people. I think that we don't need like nobody needs $1 billion. How is crypto any different? You invest in code, it only has to be worth what people are willing to pay for it. It has no backing. Yeah, I mean, when digital currencies, when I can use digital currency to buy things, that's different. You know what I mean? And yeah, at the end of the day, look, I've got Dogecoin. I bought it when it was stupid cheap. I've got Shibu, I think Shibu. I've got that shit because I got it stupid cheap. Stupid cheap. I think I own like, if put it to you this way, if Shibu ever hits $1, I'll be a very wealthy person. But I didn't spend. But I think I spent like $20 when it was. Fuck, I don't even remember. I think $20 got me like 3.5 million coins. It was $20. Yeah, I'll take 20. I'll put $20 on a flyer like that. Sure. And if I lose $20. Okay. I was probably going to spend on something stupid at the time anyway. So, yeah, but I'm not going to be that person that's like, oh, I'm going to, I'm going to invest hundreds of dollars every year or every month or every paycheck on cryptocurrency. I'm just not going to do it. I did turn down 100 Bitcoin way back when it was nothing, but I was selling a guitar pedal, and this guy comes up to me and says, I'll give you 100 Bitcoin for the guitar pedal. And at the time, Bitcoin was like 20 cents or some shit. I was like, no, I'm good. How fucking stupid am I? Oh, man. Okay, so what am I doing? Am I drinking the sauce or am I getting more? Am I getting a different bottle? Because I'm not going to be on here very much longer. I've already been on here a little bit longer than I thought I was going to be. Wow, it's almost 11 o'clock my time. The wide expanse between rich and poor almost ends in bloody class rush. Yeah, right. And this is what I wish people would think, would kind of come to, right? If they put two and two together and understood that there are, I think, the top 0.1% in this country. We're talking like, what are we looking at here? Let's say we're talking about 1% specifically, or what, 330 million people in the States, roughly times 1%. So we are talking about, yes, give me 33,000 people, right? 33,000 people at the most that are super wealthy. If we would stop fighting amongst ourselves, can you imagine what kind of power we'd have if all of a sudden everybody in the country, regardless of whatever, creed, race, anything, just said, you know what? We aren't going to buy anything until you guys fix this shit. And yes, I understand how difficult that would be, right? I understand that it's extremely difficult to not have food and not do this, not do that. But if we say, you know what, we're not going to buy anything extra. And I don't mean like stop paying bills or whatnot, right? What I mean is we're not going to buy cars. We're not going to buy luxury items. We're not going to buy the extra Amazon orders. We're not going to, we're just going to stop. We're going to take control of our money for 1 week. We would bankrupt this fucking place. And they would realize, okay, we got to get things done. And like I said, there are some things that I'm sure that the vast majority, matter of fact, polling shows that the vast majority agree on, many things. Even healthcare, even universal healthcare, the vast majority of people, Republican and Democrat, agree that there needs to be some sort of universal healthcare. Well, healthcare is not a right. I disagree. I think it is. I don't think it's right for people to have to determine whether or not they're going to go bankrupt, potentially leaving their children in financial ruin because they got cancer. Excuse me. Wait. So yes, drinking. No. You guys let me know. You know what? Let me do a poll. Here we go. Actually, here. Start a poll. Drink That's not what I want. There we go. Boom. Yeah, and here's the thing. The thing that kills me is we are the only first world major country that can't figure out universal health care. It works everywhere else. Everywhere else it works. It just does. Oh no. 12 votes. 75 said new. And then, oh no. Yeah, it's this area 100%. And the thing about it is the number one argument that I hear from people who are against, who are, well, the top arguments that I hear, the top arguments I hear are, it doesn't, the government would be in charge of your health care, of what you can and can't do. You would have to, the government would tell you what you are allowed to do and not allowed to do when it comes to your health care. And I don't want to have to pay for somebody else's health care. Here's the reason why both of those are moot, invalid, and bullshit. Number one, every other country that has universal health care, the government doesn't control, right? The government does not control. It's just the government collects taxes. They divvy those taxes up to pay for the health care. Not unlike what already happens, mind you. All these for-profit healthcare institutions get money from the government. Every last one of them does. Every last one of them gets money from the government, the for-profit ones. And Cicero is correct. We already pay for other people's health care. When you go to the hospital and you pay $100 for an aspirin, it's not because that aspirin actually costs $100. It's because the 100 or 100,000 people that came before you that couldn't afford to pay for that aspirin just got subsidized into your aspirin. I mean, we already pay for other people's health care. An estimated 10 to 40,000 Americans die each year due to lack of access to health care. If ISIS were doing that, there would be riots in the streets, but because of the GOP, meh. 100%. Let's see here. This is a Canadian, a real life Canadian says, what they do here is they pool the money together and use it to negotiate with companies that make equipment and drugs. Whoop, come back here. So we get it cheaper because we negotiate as a whole. Right. And that's kind of the point, right? So when you have everybody who's buying says, we're only going to pay, and I mean everybody, we're only going to pay $15 for that drug. That's all we're going to pay. And if you don't sell it to us for $15, then we're not going to buy it. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think these companies are going to be like, okay, no, we're just going to go bankrupt? No, they're going to pay. I mean, they're going to work. They're going to work it out. The reality, taxes are higher in other countries, but all social services are better. Police are less corrupt and more accountable. Healthcare is a human right, and they take refugees. I'm going to Europe. Fuck this place. That's another thing I want to talk about. Refugees. Oh, man. I'm going to let that poll go for 5 minutes, and it looks like I'm getting a new sauce. Son of a bitch. I like how we ended DEI for Americans, people of color in this country, LGBTQ plus, etc. But DEI for South Africans, we're okay with. Immigration, no immigration except for South Africans. By the way, that's one thing I do want to talk about. How many of you, I mean, I'm sure all of you know about the gold card that was proposed by Trump. Who here thinks they know what the real goal is? I think I have an idea of what the actual goal is, but I'm curious. Let me hear your thoughts. I'm curious. Oh yeah. Don't get sick in the States. Fuck you, man. I don't have health insurance right now because reasons. If I get sick, I'm fucked. I am fucked. Mr. Anderson says, give the undocumented a path to citizenship. To turn Russian oligarchs into U.S. citizens? Maybe. All right, let's think about it this way. Let's think about it this way. If and we have a cap, right? There's a cap on how many green cards that we issue every year. There's a cap. Okay. And there's also the EB5 investor program that already kind of does what this gold card is doing. Kind of. It doesn't, it doesn't cost $5 million for sure, but it's an incentive to that's the incentive to bring business over here as the EB5 program, Congress's EB5 program, right? So here's what they want to do. KGB and Kremlin agents only 5 million a pop, and one can control a dozen or more Democrats. Some believe that's already happening. Maybe it's possible. This is what I think. This is what I think is happening. I think this is the goal, right? I think the goal is to talking about the USD. Sorry, does Vladimir get one? Well, he doesn't need one. This is what they're going to do. This is what I think is the thing. Because there's a cap on the number of green cards that get issued. Let's say we push the gold card through. Can't do it, right? You can't do it without Congress. Not legally, anyways. So now we have gold card access. Think about Fast Pass, for instance, in your favorite theme parks. Oh, damn. It got so close. It got so close. I'm getting a new sauce. Son of a bitch. Think about Fast Passes, right? What happens to everybody who doesn't get a Fast Pass? Well, they get pushed to the end of the line. We're not pushing the end of the line, so to speak, but the people who have the Fast Pass, they get to go through quicker, right? And if you only have a limited number of green cards that you're able to give out, who do you think is going to get the priority? The rich, wealthy fuckers that can afford it. So what we're doing is we are telling those who already have a very difficult path getting into the United States with green cards, excuse me, an even more difficult path because now we're putting a gigantic fucking paywall. So we are essentially deterring migrants from Central America, South America, and some of the poorer nations. And I understand, right? Like that's well, of course, we don't want the poor people here. The Statue of Liberty would disagree with you on that. Bring me, you're tired, you're poor, you're hungry, yearning. So, yeah. Protect Rose, exactly. It's discrimination all over again. 100%. This will be economic discrimination. And I'm sorry, but the largest number of wealthy people in the world are of light skin complexion. Okay. Do you or you hire a consultant lawyer who has a guaranteed application slide? That's what I did. Okay, yeah. How much that cost you though? I'm curious. I'm not trying to be argumentative. I'm generally curious because the vast majority of people procrastinate the saucer. No, I'm not. The vast majority of people who, uh, go through the process of legally becoming citizens or legally getting their green cards, $16,000. Jesus fuck. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Okay. All right, fine. 2 seconds. Hang on a second. You guys look at this thing for a second. All right, I grabbed 2 random sauces from the back where the hottest stuff is. I've got, let's see, another karma sauce. It's called Carnival. There we go. It has Scotch bonnet and friends. Let's see here. yellow chiles, Scotch bonnet, Fatalia, and yellow scorpion. Oh boy, scorpion peppers in that one. And then, of course, the infamous hot ones, last dab, and that one, like I was telling Prosecco Rose, it's the least. It's like the most mild sauce I have. So you guys let me know which one, and I'll do it and die. Or I don't think I'll die, but yeah. I need to clean my desk. Okay. So we have one for Scotch bonnet and scorpion. You know what? Let me ask you really quick. We'll do this really quick, really quick. There. We'll eat up really quick. Fuck. Hey, there's only a minute left in the super chat goal. Why not both? I'll tell you what. And if I get the minute, we have a minute 40 left in the super chat goal. I'll do both if that hits. Okay. If that hits, I'll do both. Oh, it's a reverse psychology again, or the reverse. No, Prosecco Rose. Last dab is very spicy. Let's see. What is? I can't even look. I don't know if you can see how tiny those. You probably can't because my lighting is not the best. How am I supposed to read that? I can't. This is so fucking small there. I can't read that shit. Pepper X. Oh fuck me. Chocolate Pepper X because Pepper X is not enough. Peach Pepper X because chocolate Pepper X and regular Pepper X are not enough. We have to have 3 Pepper X's in there. Distilled vinegar, ginger root, turmeric, coriander, cumin, and dry mustard. All right, 50-50. Fuck. You guys are going to do this to me on purpose, aren't you? Unfucking believable says fan character dressed as a cheerleader jumping in the air. Oh, it's a super sticker. Look at that. God, I'm an idiot. Which one is that? Prosecco Rose, that's last dab. Triple X. Yeah, I guess that's why they call it Triple X. There's 3 fucking Pepper X's in there. Different. The chocolate, regular chocolate, and whatever that one says. Peach, because that's the thing. Oh, gosh. I've had this before. It burned. It was very not... it was very not mild. Of course, the last time I had it, I put it on the 1 chip challenge and just really lit myself up. I recently did what is this? Did this? You know what? Let me just pop that sucker so bigger. I recently did the season 24 Hot Ones lineup with my friend and was very surprised at how easy it was to get through. Their version of the bomb definitely hit hard though. So, well, I think is it. I don't know. I've not done the packs they sell, but I thought the bomb that came with it was the actual da bomb. That's just gross. It's just nasty. It doesn't taste good. I didn't like it. I didn't like the actual taste. I didn't like the taste. Okay, I guess I'm doing both. Let me go and end this guy here. We're in this poll because I got the thing that I said I wanted to get, and here it is. We're gonna do both. All right. Just so you know, wait, let me get one that I can fit. Yeah. All right, here it is. Dry. God bless America. So unfucking believable. Believe it or not, the was it the scorpion was, or the ghost pepper is used to keep elephants out of crops, and scorpion they use that to keep algae and other like barnacles and shit from collecting on underbodies of ships. So yeah, and we consume those because why not? All right, there's the last dab. This one's very runny, so hang on a second. Woo! Yeah, buddy. That all right, I promise you guys, I'm putting both sauces. They look identical, but that was both sauces. I promise. I would not lie to you because I appreciate all of you, and you want a show. You're getting a show. No, Zerzuzi. We did not choose drinking both of them. Okay. Same, right? Same one. So you guys can see. I don't know if you can see. You can kind of tell they're different. Like this one here is a little darker. Oh, it's dripping. Oh no. Here we go. It's gonna hit me soon. There it goes. Yep. Uh-huh. That's my favorite part about watching Hot Ones. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. Everybody, right? They get to the hot one and they're like, yep. Uh-huh. Go back and watch any one of them. Am I allowed to drink? Am I allowed to drink anything? Whoo. That one lit me up a little bit. I'm not sleeping tonight. Yep. Glad I got a tissue over here. Catch all this snot that's about to come down. I'm allowed to drink? Okay, good. Not because like super spicy. It's actually the worst thing you do is drink water whenever you're dealing with something spicy. Because all it does is spread it around your mouth. That's just to help me like get it down the gullet. There we go. I don't have milk. I don't do milk. Whew, that was spicy. Oh yeah, Maya Rudolph was hilarious in that. That was so fun. Time for a shamrock shake. Oh no. I gotta stop eating the fries. All right, Mr. Andret, have a good one. No, it's, the only thing that really works is time. Nothing really takes care of it. They say that things like that are higher in oil help, but I have not found it to be true. That's funny. You know what I think? I think is I can't remember. Look this up. Let's see here. Where is? I think it's in. No, it's South Carolina. That's where Pucker Butt is. South Carolina. Burning Ring the AM. Yep. It's there. I mean, yeah, that was fun. I don't know what happened there with the chat box there. Went kind of crazy. You want a bagel? What kind of bagel? What kind of bagel? Wait a minute. Is that who I think it is? I think it is. Hello, me. It's me again. But now. What's the name of the song? Chat. What's the name of the song? Let me know. Good to see me. Blueberry. Oh, blueberry bagel. Okay. Am I? No. You know what? My tolerance is still up there. It's not as good as it used to be. That's for certain. And here's the thing: sometimes they hit you a little harder than others. Same sauce, same pepper, whatever. It could just hit you a little harder than it would at other times. But today, both of those on there, and this, like I said, this is another one of the Carmen sauces, the Carnival. This is actually really good. It's a good sauce. I love it. Sweating bullets. There it is. Sweating bullets. Yeah, buddy. Never gonna give you up. But this Pepper X one, I remember it from the last dab. I remember it from the one chip challenge. I think it was a one chip challenge that made it disgusting. Because those one chips are always stale. Always. Here it is. Clifton Beck. That's a fair point. I'm so behind in this live, and about 30 minutes ago, you were talking about the impacts of HIV. I thought it was important to point out that the group that was most impacted by HIV was hemophiliacs. Mm-hmm. Going to catch replays, still discussion, Gooch and Discord. Oh no, that's fair. Okay, so Facty says, I don't understand we want to tolerate it because it tastes good. That's the thing. And Clifton Bag, yeah, exactly, right. And I think the predominant reason why, as is almost half of them talking about hemophiliacs, were because the government did not test donated blood. Again, I think part of the reason why is because when we saw it as just what they used to call gay cancer, the government didn't care. When they thought it only affected a certain demographic, they're like, "What? We don't give a shit." Cream cheese has got to be Philadelphia, but on a blueberry bagel, and then like to rip it apart and dip it in strawberry jam. Okay. I have to see that, me. If you have the, you know what? if you have a link to it, great. If not, I'll just look it up. Forest Valkai. I'll look it up right now. Let's do it right now. Let's do it. Wait, 2 R's. Forest, not Forrest Gump. Spicy science. All right, I'll check it out. Secret science in the Bible. JL. Oh no. Oh no, JL. What about Fear Free by Rammstein? In Heib Grischel, bang bang. Yep, I'm terrible. My German is terrible. It's awful. I don't speak it. So, all right, Mrs. Tom. I hope I was able to give you the visual pleasure of me eating both those sauces. I know you wanted to see me drink them, but I didn't. So PhD Tony and both PhD Tony and JL have just been like, no, we don't want to come up, Johnny. You suck. So there we are. It is what it is. Oh no. I'm telling you, man, ever since I come back and started doing some stuff, you guys have lit my Discord on fire. And it's fun. I appreciate good back and forth. But let's be civil. Definitely don't do any of the isms or the, whatever the things where you do like doxing. Don't do that shit. Yeah, I had another one because it's not good. Delicious. Your coworker across the hall will what? Have a cow conniption? Turn you in? No, he'll notice. So what? Let him notice, or her. Is it her or him? Her or him? Let me know. I'm trying to bring others down about it, but it's hard. Been sad. Because of Leyland squirrels. I know it's tough, and dealing with that shit sucks. I had to deal with it with Susan Bassey. I had to deal with it with fucking dumbass Chili de Contro. It sucks, but he's your tsunami specialist. I'm sorry, I totally squirreled on you. Leyland squirrels. There you go. Just know that if you stick with it, follow the advice of those of us who have come before you and had to deal with the same things, you're gonna come out ahead on this. You're gonna be all right. It sucks because it definitely has a bit of a chilling effect, which I think is fucking garbage. All your chili content, Raven Darkstar. I hope you have insurance in mind. I don't. Well, don't worry about it. Here's the thing, Leyland Squirrels. What I would suggest doing is, first, let me ask you this. Do you live in California, Leyland Squirrels? Me, I think he's lost all of them. I don't think Chili's won a single a single one of his copyright claims. Not one. And I'll tell you why. Because when he did it to me, no, you don't have anything to worry about because he's not going to come to you. Do you live in Oregon? You with K-Farm? You have nothing to worry about. He's not going to go there. He's not going to go to. I don't think K-Farm's in Tennessee, but he won't go out there. He won't be able to. He's not allowed in Oregon. That's fair. To be fair, I don't think he's allowed in California, but they couldn't, get rid of him. Don't worry about it. Look, I understand. So sorry for talking with food in my mouth. I understand it's extremely disheartening when you have to deal with this shit. Stay the course. Force him to take you to court. And if he does, which he won't, because he can't afford it, if he does, that's when you'll win. Because the Supreme Court has already ruled on that type of content. So long as you're not just like copy pasting his content, or it's not chili, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter who it is. Because again, the Supreme Court has already ruled on this. And I understand, like, just because the Supreme Court says this, that, and the other, doesn't mean that it's cheap. But hear me out. And again, you can talk to other attorneys that will be able to offer far better advice because they have legal advice. I don't. I have personal experience advice. Because the Supreme Court has already ruled on it, when you submit that to YouTube and you tell YouTube that whoever it is, Eugenia Cooney, has to take you to federal copyright court in your home state, because that's where the offense occurred, your home state, not their home state. So they could file in their home state all they want. It's going to get dismissed. They have to file in your home state and appear in your home state. I'll lose all my stuff about Gabby Petito. Don't worry about it. I know, like I said, it's daunting, but Leyland Scrolls says it can't be. Is it happening via YouTube? Okay, what's happening? They're mass reporting your channel. Fight every one of them. Because YouTube does not like the abuse of the reporting system. I would suggest ripping all of your content and storing it somewhere, just in case that does happen. But it's going to be okay. It's been ever since I called that guy out for faking his animal rescue for views. You're gonna be fine. I promise. I promise you're gonna be fine. Because YouTube doesn't like that shit. They don't like people who abuse it. And I would contact YouTube support. I know it sucks. The YouTube support kind of sucks. But every single day I'd be like, hey guys, this is bullshit. I'm being targeted, blah, blah, blah. Make it a YouTube problem. Because they are harassing you via YouTube. But yeah, no, it sucks. It does. It does. Yeah, fight them all. Take some time, but you'll get it. You'll be fine. And even if not, let's say the worst thing happens. Excuse me. Let's say the worst thing happens. And they take your channel down, right? Well, if you backed up all your stuff, you made a new one. And you use what you've learned. I just spit all over myself. You use what you learn to grow your new channel. faster, bigger, and better. But you'll be good. I promise. All right, guys. I think that's it for me. Unless anybody else has any other thing you want to say to me, yell at me, tell me I'm wrong about. I'm okay. Let me ask you guys a question. Did you enjoy the video today? And how many of you are going to stick around? How many are going to stick around for the content as we keep as it go forward? Because then we do a lot more political stuff. And I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, so you know, I it's totally understandable if you don't want to stick around for the politics stuff. I get it. It can be kind of it can be a bit depressing. So I totally understand if that's something you want to do. I'm going to try to be a little more comical about it. I will be taking the piss out of Donnie and his cronies. The lack of gooch. What am I missing here? Okay. What am I missing? What is the lack of gooch? What is this? What is this? What is this lack of gooch you speak of? Hey, Brooke. Good to see you. I sent you a message in Discord, BT Dubs. I know you're busy. Thank you, Prosecco. I appreciate that. Only came at the end here. Thank you for sharing your opinion on the political landscape. Always people shouldn't be afraid of their government. Government should be afraid of the people. 100%. Yes. Shiz's Discord server, there's a lot of gooch. I don't even know what that is. Like, I know what hooch is. I know what hooch is. I don't know what gooch is. But yeah. So I'm going to try and put out at least one video a week that's going to be more like constructed like yesterday or today's was. And then I'm going to try and do something a little more like reaction video where I watch something and then kind of, just react and do that. And then we'll do live streams to kind of discuss some of the things that are going on and whatnot. So that's where that's what I want to do. It's so much more fun to me because I have more things to say, right? Because I can call flat earthers idiots all day long. I can call sovereign citizens dumbasses and argue with First Amendment auditors until I just like I'm done, right? You know what I mean? It got so fucking boring to me because it was the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's the same misunderstood science, same misunderstood law, same stupid maritime bullshit. So yeah, it was boring. So more creative content is going to focus on political goings on. Still going to cover some other things here and there. Like I could not cover that sovereign citizen lady where the judge just fucking walked up out of the courtroom while she was giving her nonsense and came back and was like, all right, just fucking arrest her. That was great. That was so funny. I loved every second of that. Because that's what should happen to these people who do this dumb shit. They abuse the system, abuse the courts and whatnot. So, right in the gooch. Oh, that does sound familiar. Anyway, yeah, more of that's coming. I hope you like it. If not, I'm sorry. I promise. I won't be mad if you don't want to watch the show anymore. I won't. Maybe though. I might cry a little bit. All right, everybody. It has been fun. We will see you next time. Cheers.